Okay, the next team is Receipto. Let's welcome Receipto.
A very good morning to panel of judges and members of the floor. Paper receipt, who else thinks that they are wasteful? I'm sure we all do. In fact, they are environmentally disastrous as well. All of these are affected because of paper receipts. 60,000 of trees are cut down every year, 61 million gallons of water are used up just for paper receipt. They also contribute to 7 million pounds of wastage and 19 million pounds of carbon dioxide. Doesn't it seem quite saddening to the environment? To give you a clearer image, this is how it will look per minute.
Although, after so much we have seen, are those uses even worth it? Is there no in-between, and where is the common ground? Ladies and gentlemen, the change that we have always needed has arrived. I'm Irdina.
I'm Afika.
I'm Erisha. I'm Nazato. I'm Alia.
And we are
Receipto.
your receipt digitalized and revolutionized.
Now, here at Receipto, we envision receipts to be digital. Instead of the clutters of papers, we believe that receipts should be digitally stored in one centralized mobile application. Now, who else thinks so too? I'm sure we all do. Because it's in trend, right? If cash are going cashless, why aren't paper receipts going paperless? Now, before we go deeper into the many costs and benefits that we have, allow me to first introduce to you how this will look like. Alright, so receipts are generated at checkout counters, correct? So it is at this point where Receipto will come into play. At the checkouts, there will always be two parties involved, of which are the retailers and the users. And as for the users, as mentioned, we will be a mobile app where all of the receipts will be centralized. But what's more important is at the retailer's end. How do we plan to digitalize these receipts? Introducing to you the solution, our very own Receipto device. This device is a transceiver. It transmits and receives information. It adopts the Bluetooth function and the NFC technology. Now, NFC, or the Near Field Communication Technology, is the technology that allows you to tap your cards when you make payments at checkout counters, or even when you tap your cards at readers before you enter a secure door. So essentially what it is the technology that allows you to communicate data between two compatible devices by just a single tap. So once installed, this is the rough sketch of how it will look like. Firstly, the receipts data will be transferred from the POS system and into the Receipto device via the USB cord or the Bluetooth function. And immediately, this data will be transferred to the smartphone of users with just a single tap, thanks to our NFC technology. And that's it. All the users will have to do is tap and go. Thereon, they can continue to enjoy the many features that our app has in store for them. Now, on a side note, we can confirm that more than 80% of the smartphones today are eligible for the NFC interaction with our Receipto device. But for the fewer that do not, we will provide them with the NFC stickers. These stickers contain a microchip, of which, simply put, once pasted onto your phones, will enable the NFC feature for your phones as well, making you compatible for the NFC interaction. So yes, with our NFC stickers, the number of NFC users among Receipto users will remain unlimited. By 2025, thermal printing market size will reach 5.6 billion. But based on our recent survey, almost everyone wants their receipts digitalized. And currently, there are approaches to meet this demand. First, we have mobile application like Mr. Receipts, but it requires users to take a photo of their receipts and compile in an app. But paper consumption is still there. Next, we have email option receipts, but people will still prefer physical receipts for instant viewing. And next, we have e-wallets, but their version of receipts only display the payment amount, which requires retailers to still provide a paper receipt upon purchasing. As you can see, all these methods
all these methods have loopholes, making it hard for the retailers to adopt digital receipts. And that is why we are introducing to you Receipto. But why choose us? Now, let's take a look at a merchant printing 1,000 receipts per day. A receipt printer will usually cost around 200 ringgit, with paper receipt cost between 2 to 5 cents each. This means that retailers are spending a whopping 5 to 18,000 ringgit per year just for the receipt function alone. While our device will be available at 399 ringgit, our charging scheme of half cent per transaction will only need them to spend less than 2,000 ringgit per year. Here, we can clearly see 60 to 90% of cost is saved. Imagine they could be saving more than 100,000 ringgit for the next 10 years. Hey, quite advantageous for the businesses. But what is there for our mobile app users? Receipto is not just an app that does away with the clutter of receipts. Users can also stay on top of local deals, as promotions and personalized ads are recommended to them based on their spending habits. And on top of that, they can accumulate digital coins for every time they use our app to redeem coupons and promotions with our partnering retailers.
As Receipto is expected to be widely used in the future, so our main user will be young adults and adults since everyone is a consumer. Next, these are the retailers that we are going to approach as these receive the most response from the public. So, how do we advertise our apps to the public? The first method will be through a campaign on social media with the help of influencers to spread out the idea. And next, we are going to collaborate with WWF and Econite, as these are NGOs that delivers and advocate environmental intervention. And lastly, we are going to collaborate with retailers, as they will advertise our app at the counter, and only Receipto users can get special promotion from them. As for the retailers, we are going to approach them by using business-to-business method. As we are new to the market, our marketing personnel will be partnered up with established marketing company to market our product to big names. We're also going to establish our own website for business information and online purchasing.
For the revenue stream, we have 3 different types of revenue. The first one is the device. The selling price itself is 399 ringgit. Next, we are also generating revenue from commission by charging them half cent per transaction. The last one is the advertisement. We are charging them by the basis of cost per mille and cost per click after taking consideration of our app users. This will benefit the retailers, as we are showing the advertisement based on customer purchasing history. The total capital investment we'll be needing is 1.2 million ringgit to sustain us before break-even. So, here are the costs we'll be incurring. By workforce cost contributes the highest among all, as we are a company providing services, justifying the important costs incurred, such as customer support and internal engineering support staffs. For the break-even, we are estimated to be achieved at 2,222 units. As I believe, all our investors must be really interested in our return on investment. Our return on investment will be increasing tremendously over the years. This is because of the continual earning from commission and the increase in number of unique devices sold. Moving on to the profit margin, we will be getting a 63% on sales.
So, how about the risk and mitigation? Basically, our team will be focusing on the 3 main risks. So, for the first one, we will be focusing on the retailer's unacceptance risk. In order to mitigate this risk, our team will give an early bird discount for the first 250 devices sold. And our team also will provide a free advertisement slot trials for 2 months. Since we are having a huge database about our user spending, we can offer the opportunity to the retailers to effectively advertise their product or service to the right target market amongst our users. Next, the security risk. In order to reduce this risk, our security team will implement an information security program to ensure that our team is at the required level. Our team also will enable the firewall, and every single unit of data exchanged over our app will be encrypted. Since we are abide to the Data Protection Act 1998, we can assure that our team will be practicing the best security. And lastly, the imitation risk. In order to reduce this risk, our team will update our app with more new and beneficial features, and we will also patent our technology.
By 2020, it will take about 3 months to establish our apps and device. Throughout the duration and even before that, we'll be raising awareness and push out advertisement to ensure the existence of our market upon launching. By 2023, we are going to introduce our premium subscription plan for users. And next, as we have a huge database, we'll be venturing as market research company, but of course with compliance to Data Protection Act. By 2025, we are going to centralize all the payment methods such as e-payment and credit card payment by enabling them to pay via our device with a single tap. And lastly, we are going to expand our product to Southeast Asian market and become widely used over Asian countries.
The next big thing is happening right in front of us. Grab this opportunity to invest and be part of Receipto.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Can we have your names first, please? Your names.
I'm Nur Elisha.
Nur Alicia.
I'm Nazatul.
I'm
Nazatul.
Irdina.
I'm Nur Alia.
And I'm Afika.
Okay, I may sound a bit biased, but I love tech, so if I were an investor, I will invest in your business. But I would say that I have a concern though, because you may be a bit late to the game because there are already competitors out there. So how do you actually intend to compete with those already existing in the market? And my second question is the stickers that you are going to use, right? I'm not so clear about that. How feasible is it to actually distribute these stickers to the users?
Thank you for your question. For the first question, NFC only caters to payment apps like Samsung Pay and Google Pay, but there's no implementation on receipts to enable them to communicate with our device to receive receipts information, but only for payments. So there's really no implementation on receipts ideas yet. But yes, NFC is already an available technology right now, and that's why we are implementing them.
Okay, for the second question, as for the NFC stickers, so back to basics, the idea is to have the phones communicate with the Receipto device. So to make this compatible, first the phones will need to have the NFC feature itself. But for some phones, the older model phones, they won't have these NFC microchips in their phones. So these tags, it's just some adhesive tag. It's not a sticker that will make your phones look ugly or whatever. You can choose to paste it or remove it anytime you want. So these tags contains a microchip. So once it's pasted onto your phone, we'll substitute the existence of the microchip for the smartphones in exchange to the tags that you lack, the tags that the phone lack. Yeah.
May I add something? So for the first question, actually what is the a hit point of our team with the competitors is actually our team will be centralized all the receipt. As you see, some of the other apps, the competitors, if they doesn't have the enough information, the amount of what you buy. So if you are using the Receipto, all of the transaction that happens will be, the data will be have in our apps. So you don't have to need to open one apps with a different place of you buying. So in our apps, all of the data will be centralized, and just with our apps, you can see all of the information that you want.
Thanks for your presentation. Have you also factored in the cost of developing this app? Because that's, I think, the biggest chunk of the overall cost. And who will be developing the app?
Yeah, thank you for your question. For software developing, it's not software, sorry. It's for the device. We manufactured it from UBTAP, which is a Malaysian NFC manufacturer. But it's just the reader. But the technology and the software tuning will be done by our own software engineer. And also for the mobile app, we'll be outsourcing from internet, which will develop our mobile application, but with NFC tuning with them from our software engineer. So yes.
Hi. To echo what Zachary mentioned, I do like to invest as well. So I have two questions. Number one, your collaboration with the payment apps. The payment apps, I think if they want to integrate this receipt into their payment apps, it will be very easy. What's the incentive of them wanting to collaborate with you? That's number one. Number two, your target market. Why 60 years and below? Nowadays, I noticed that those like 70 years old people, they are also using apps. Yeah, so that's my two questions.
So how about, for the first question is about why the e-payment apps want to collaborate with us. So as you see, we are using the NFC technology, where it's a step ahead from everyone in the Malaysia. So as you can see, the NFC technology is already widely used in the US. So even though the small shops by the road already using it, so we can see in the meantime, Malaysia will also using this device. So what I'm trying to say about is, our team will have an opportunity to become the market leader, as if you want to use the NFC, you need to have your own device and your own coding. So all of this method will be costly for the each e-wallets to implement, because one NFC you can only use for one device. So if rather than they want to produce, for example, TNG e-wallet, Boost, GrabPay, each of them want to produce their device. Instead, they can collaborate with us. With just our device, they can perform all the payment with a single tap using the NFC technology. So we can offer them the more cheaper cost rather than if they build in their own devices.
And if I may add about the NFC technology, sorry, for your second question, it was about why is it 60 and below. That's simply for, according to the market that we've researched, the majority of them are 60 and below, but definitely we are open to any other age groups as well.
May I add? And according to the surveys, for those who have 50 and to 60 years, they're actually more to 50% of them have smartphone. So that's why we are targeting them. But it's okay, but if because over 71.
Well, thank you for a business idea. Very interesting. Actually, when you were presenting, I checked my Touch and Go e-wallet apps, and apparently, when I just tap into the transactional records, it showed me a lot of details. So it triggered me a question: do I really need your apps? The second thing, how would you address, or what is your measure for risk mitigations? What if there's one day the governments have a new policy saying that now everyone has to use e-wallets, and now we are cut because of the SDG Go and etc. There's no longer needs of paper receipt. So what are the risk mitigation steps or approaches that you have in mind right now?
So actually about the question, so how about one day that everyone have to use the digitalized receipt? And to answer your question, actually we have already done our survey based on 243 respondents. As you can see, we are already given to each of you the cost models. So basically, the reaction of the users, they actually want the digitalized receipt idea. More than 90% of them agreed. So if you say one day the government want to implement the digitalized receipt, so I think I would like to say that our team will be work faster than when the day has come. As I said, because before the time of the government need to digitalize the receipt, we already convinced the users that our apps will give them ease to use. Because let's imagine, if you're using a Touch and Go, you are using a Grab and Boost. If each time, if you are buying your things, you need to open each of the apps one by one to see your own receipt. But with our apps, you just need to open one apps and you can see all of the details. It's not based on Touch and Go, it's not based on Grab. So all of the receipt centralization will be centralized.
Okay, maybe this is the last question. It's also on the same area of risk mitigation and risk assessment. Not sure if I missed it. Correct me. Did you analyze, competitor risk? The barrier to entry may not be very high for this technology, and before you know it, someone else will come and want to try something new. Did you analyze that? Yeah, the sustainability of the business model. Yeah.
Yes, actually, we already mentioned it in our imitation risk. So in order to reduce this risk, we actually will patent our technology. So basically, what is the technology that we patent is the way of we encoding the codes that we enter into our device. So basically, when we are coding the system, so we will assure that no one will enter the market, because we already patented on the way of the coding. Because yes, we are manufacturing our device outside, but the development of the coding is still our team. So the information will be secured, and we will also patent it.
Thank you, ladies. Just in time. Thank you.